I just want to start off with my interest with this awesome group of women started with an exhibit of beautiful quilts at the Jacquei Krull Gallery around September 29th. And it might I'm sure it extended either before or after that, but that's when I actually looked at the exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
I went in on a weekly basis to the gallery to look at the quilts that I saw, and it was something different and unique each and every time I went in. I even made excuses to go in, taking a group of kids that I work with. Let's go see the quilts, because they were just mesmerizing. And when I knew that the exhibit was coming to an end, I didn't want it to end. And so I reached out to start connecting with some of the women, and who really actually ended up reaching out back to me was Jacquei Seals. She's a member. So today in the studio, I want you to help me welcome with your listening ear, Jacquei Seals.
Hi, how are you? It's so great to be here.
Thank you. Linda Jones.
Hi, how are you?
And Jones-Jomare Bowers-Myzzell.
Hi, how are you?
And I am so excited to hear these journeys, the journeys of quilting, why these ladies got started quilting, and just a host of information. I'm sorry you can't see these beautiful quilts that they brought into the studio, but if you stay tuned, we'll keep you abreast of when it's going to be able to air on Access TV, okay? Let's just start with you, Jacquei. How did you get involved with quilting?
Well, actually, I was looking for something for the children to do at the Boys and Girls Club, where I worked as a cultural enrichment coordinator. And I went to the library, as I usually did, and I went over the subject of quilting. And I thought, I've always wanted to make a quilt, so let me see what I can find out. And that's how I got involved, and I got hooked. Trust me, I got hooked. Then I was able to go to a quilting guild called Appleseed Quilters Guild, and they have about 100 members or more. And I went there about 3 or 4 times before I actually joined, just to see what it was all about. Mm-hmm. And from there, I stayed in there for about, 2, 3, 5 years or so. And I was a runner. What that means is I was holding the quilts on the show, showing the quilts to the ladies in the audience. And I saw some African-American sisters out in the audience, and I was tickled to death because I didn't know anybody else of color other than myself did that. So I went up to them, and I asked them to come out to my shop, which was MG's Internet Cafe, out at Southtown Mall. And so they did, and one lady came out there, and she said, "Oh, this is just the kind of place I like. Quilts and, what do you call it? Computers."
Okay.
And she said, "I've always wanted to start a quilt guild." And I said, "You know what? Me too." And that's how it got started. That open word got out there in the universe, and we kept meeting people. And we finally decided to have a meeting. So we met at my shop, and that's how we all got started.
That's how Sisters of the Cloth got started?
Yes,
And when was that?
That was in March of 99. March of 99.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll bet when I first moved to Fort Wayne, you had one of the shops that were in Southtown Mall. And so people who don't know what Southtown Mall is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's long gone.
Yes, it's long gone. Wow. What an interesting story.
Yes.
Wow. So, Linda, how did you get started with quilting?
Well, I've always liked crafts and doing things with my hands. Mm-hmm. And I got the idea when my youngest child, my daughter, was getting ready to graduate from high school. I thought, I want to make a quilt for her out of her old T-shirts,
nice.
And only thing is, the only quilting or sewing background that I had was home ec in school. So I had no idea what to do or how to start. But I had collected all these T-shirts of hers since 1987 or something.
Wow.
So this was, I was thinking about this in 2001. Mm-hmm. Well, it didn't get done. But in 2006, two of my good friends started a quilt ministry at Union Baptist Church. And I joined their quilt ministry so that I could learn how to put this quilt together. Okay? Well, those two members helped me tremendously. But it took me until like 2011 to get the top finished. But I had learned how to do it. And so I got it all together in 2011 and finally finished it. I'm thinking, I got notes here. Let's see. I think it was like 2013 before I finally finished the entire quilt with the backing and everything. And in 2010, one of those mentors from my church, who was also a member of Sisters of the Cloth, sponsored me into the group. So she became my mentor in the group as well.
What's so interesting is that so many people I've heard of, because I used to think I was ashamed that I would start a project, and I was like, it's been 3 years, and I still haven't finished that. But that is the norm. It seems like of quilters.
It is. It was for me because I was working mom, and I didn't quilt every day.
Right.
You know. So when I retired, my thought was, hey, I'm going to be able to just quilt all day because I'm retired, right?
And then life happens.
Nice.
What about you, Jamar? How did you get started quilting? Because, wait a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me back up.
Yeah.
Because, Linda, what you, which I thought was really interesting, would you consider yourself as a novice?
Yes, I consider myself a novice.
Why is that?
Well, because I have not been quilting continuously and consistently as my sisters, Jacquei, and I started in 2010.
Okay.
You know, Jacquei and some of my other, and
Sisters.
even some members who have joined since, just are so talented. They are such amazing ladies.
They are amazing.
And they have, you know, such talent that, compared to them, I'm a novice.
A novice.
Yes.
And that just means to you
that
you're pretty new.
I do the basics.
Okay.
I can put a quilt together basically. Okay.
Nice.
I don't get all of the fancy nuances into it that some of my
years,
fabric artist sisters do.
Look how she's looking at you. Okay, well, let's hear from the neophyte now.
Well, I know. I'm very intimidated by all these ladies.
No, don't be.
No, but they're some of the most wonderful women I've ever met. I mean, it's like walking into, when you're a neophyte, you're walking into a family. I just feel so embraced by them all.
Beautiful.
But if we start at the beginning, my family was always active in civil rights, civic activities, sports, and so we had just so many. My husband was a coach in tennis. We had tennis T-shirts, social organization T-shirts. My daughter competed in ice skating, tennis, and dance. So we had T-shirts and sweatshirts out, just so many.
Okay.
So when my daughter graduated from high school, went to a lot of different open houses, and I saw these T-shirt quilts, T-shirt and sweatshirt quilts. I thought, oh, this is really nice. I never thought I would do it, but I thought that would be a wonderful way to sort of bring all the historical experiences from competitions and civic things together in a quilt form. Mm-hmm. So in 2003, my husband passed from cancer, and I think there was a conference at Sisters of the Cloth participated in a quilt conference at the convention center, and I think it was around that time, 2003, 2002, and I went up to their booth and I talked to one of the senior people that was in the organization, and she gave me a whole list of everything I needed to purchase to begin to be a part of Sisters of the Cloth, and all the tools and sewing machines, everything I needed.
Was it expensive?
Why,
Yeah,
I mean,
hobby.
sewing machine, all kinds of things.
Yes.
Cases and everything. She gave me the entire list.
Oh my goodness.
And I went out immediately and bought them all. That was in 2003.
Okay.
Wow. Jomare,
I did.
Really?
I did. I bought them all because I thought, I'm going to do this. Because,
Okay.
my husband had passed. My mother had just passed. I said, I'm going to make this
Embrace,
happen.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I had to get used to my new normal.
Mhm.
And a lot of things changed, not just my family passing, but just a host of things changed. So I just wasn't able to do what I thought I would be able to do. But I kept all my tools, all my equipment,